Cool. Hi, I'm Emily Wilson. I'm the writer, director, and editor of Danny's Girl, which is a short film that's premiering at the Midnight Short Program.
Hi, I'm Danny Deichel. I play Danny in the short film Danny's Girl.
Well, so happy to have you here with us for Culture Focus magazine. So I saw the film, and as I had talked to you earlier, I loved it. It was really awesome. For a short film, I definitely wanted to see more. So tell me, Emily, how did you come up with the idea for the film?
Well, I wrote the film for Danny. So he was kind of the inspiration in terms of, I always thought he was a talented actor and has like really amazing physical comedy chops. So I was kind of like, okay, if I want Danny to be the lead, what kind of world would I place him in that's kind of funny, outrageous, kind of a nail biter? And so I came up with this idea of, this online dating and him kind of anticipating meeting his online girlfriend for the first time. And I feel like that's also a really good premise for a short film, because it's like the build-up and the setup is already there, and then you can kind of watch it unfold in real time a little bit, which the film does. So I'm also love the idea of profound disappointment, especially when it comes to romantic situations. And so I'm like, Danny is so excited to meet this young woman. What is literally like the worst thing that could happen? And something terrible does happen, and then we get to see it unfold, and it kind of turns into a waking nightmare. So that was like the initial jumping off point, is just like knowing how Danny acts and wanting to put him in a somewhat compromising situation.
So you must know Danny very well, and how do you guys know each other so that you actually want to create a film that he's the lead in?
So the producer of the film, Evan Husney, and Danny grew up together more or less in Minnesota. And so I actually met Danny through the producer. And I've seen Danny act in small shorts here and there, and I've hung out with him, and I just always thought he was hilarious and has a great face for camera. And so really that was it. Like, it was just like he inspired me, essentially. And I'm really inspired by R. Crumb and the comics of R. Crumb, and I feel like Danny's kind of facial expressions aligns with the R. Crumb sensibilities. So it just kind of all came together in a way that kind of made sense.
So Danny, what did you think when you saw the script and you were approached by Emily to be the lead in Danny's Girl?
I was I was very, what's the word? Like humbled, and excited. And then I read the script and I thought it was hilarious and amazing. It was basically just like my luck, this whole kind of ride. She said, do you want to, if I wrote something, do you want to act in it? And I've never acted in any big thing before, and it sounded like an awesome thing to do, and so I said yes. And then she wrote the script, showed it to me. It was amazing, and I was
Sorry to stop you right here, but you said you never acted. Your acting was superb in Danny's Girl. So tell me, you've never acted, but yet again you deliver an amazing performance. Where did that come from?
First of all, I've acted in little short movie things that me and my friends have made. I think anyone in our generation, I grew up with a camcorder, and I've just done little things here and there. So I've acted in that respect, but nothing like. And I know that this is a short film, but as far as I'm concerned, it was like a big budget kind of thing. There's a legitimate crew and camera people, and so in that regard, I feel like I haven't really acted. I don't think I've ever there was ever anyone yelling action and cut. As far as I'm concerned, in anything I've ever done, this was professional.
It was extremely professional and very well done, and the chemistry between you and the co-star was really well developed, and I could totally feel that it was natural. Did you know her? How did that come about with putting them together, Emily?
Yeah, so once again, the producer Evan knew Raimi and suggested that we meet up to actually just talk about the script in general, because Raimi's really into kind of like weird movies and horror stuff, and so we actually just met to just talk about the script. And then I actually didn't know she acted really. Like I knew she maybe dabbled in acting, but she's like, no, like I studied acting in a London Acting Academy, and like I'll send you my reel. And I was like, whoa, I mean, yeah, I'd love for you to audition. And so she read with Danny, and they had great chemistry, and she just really like dove into the backstory and was very inquisitive and asked like, well, why would she do this, and what's her motivation here and there. And I was like, wow, she's really passionate, talented, and like cares a lot about the projects, and they have good chemistry. So we casted her, and then we just rehearsed a bunch. Like we rehearsed like 9-10 times, and like, yes, reading lines, but also just getting to know each other and drinking wine and
talking about the character,
yeah,
the movie, the script,
everything. And so we essentially like became close and became friends, and I think that helped. Because by the time we got to set, I feel like the comfort level was already where it needed to be, rather than had we not rehearsed, it would have. I mean, there's like some uncomfortable moments in the film. So I feel like had we not known each other that well, it would have maybe not gone as well.
Yeah, very likely.
Did you feel uncomfortable filming with her?
Not really.
Especially one particular scene that I'm not going to, I guess, talk about because people have to see it.
No, I had like a blast the whole time. I was like a kid in a candy store. It was like so exciting just to be on a film set and to have everything revolve around me.
Yeah, seriously.
Pretty much. I love it. Like I had so much energy, and yeah, I mean all the intense scenes that I did, like the more intense, the more fun it was to do. It was all just like a really great experience. I don't know if I'll ever have something like that again.
I'm sure you will. After a lot of people see that performance, I'm sure you'll have a lot more coming for you.
So.
But what I found interesting, Emily, in this film is the idea of online dating, and then what happens when the two people meet and they think they're so in love, and here we go, here comes the crazy part of one of the people involved, or maybe two. Yeah. So, and it was a very interesting twist. So what are your views on particularly online dating and mental illness?
Good question.
And when we combine them both together.
Yeah. I mean, online dating, I'm a sucker for love and romance. However people find it, great. I think it's a very easy way to meet people nowadays. That's kind of what people do. So yeah, I'm all for it. Like I've tried it myself, and I would try it again. I do think it is like the perfect breeding ground for potential disappointment. Meeting somebody who is nothing like they say they are, either physically or mentally. Like I feel like it adds a layer of danger. But why not try it, I guess? And then, I feel like you don't really know until you meet the person. You're just never gonna know. And in terms of the mental illness, be aware of red flags, I guess. Or if you're both or if you both suffer from mental illness, maybe you can heal together.
Right.
You know?
It works if you're both mentally ill, or both not mentally ill.
So did you have an experience that helped you develop that character, Danny, of online dating or dealing with people that are not stable?
Well, I have online dated, and my partner I met her online dating, and I just I've had a lot of experience on the you know, like online dating apps. So yeah, I mean, this all the whole this script and the story really, I think it really like hits a nerve, and it just felt really real. And I think a lot of people these days are on dating apps and can relate to the tension and the drama of the movie. It's sort of a kind of modern day story in that regard, I think.
Oh, so what's next for Danny's Girl?
So Sundance is its world premiere, so I submitted to a bunch of other film festivals, so hopefully it'll be in a handful more, so we'll kind of spend 2020 going from festival to festival, hopefully. And I guess eventually releasing it online or some sort of platform, digital platform, so more people can see it. And then, you know, I'm open to maybe developing it further if somebody's interested, yeah.
Great. And you're a female filmmaker, so how difficult is it? Or have you seen any changes in the industry since you first started being a female?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a big shift within the past couple years. We still have a long way to go, but I think people are actively trying to hire more women, or at least vocalizing that they're trying to hire more women. You know, there's always the risk of like filling the female quota rather than, you know, hiring a woman off of their merits. I mean, I think women are great, talented, thoughtful. I think this has been so like male dominated for so long, and that's been accepted, that there is a shift slowly happening, and I think hopefully within the next like 5 to 10 years it'll be more equal. So I feel optimistic about it. There's still like a lot of fighting to do, and for me, I've spent a lot of time as a video editor professionally, and that's like gone okay being a female, like a lot of like media stuff. But as like positions of power such as like directing and writing, that is kind of where I'm headed now. So I am curious to see if that's going to be more difficult because I am a woman. There are a lot of like female filmmaker initiatives, which is great. So I also feel like it's a good time to try to make that leap. So yeah, generally very optimistic because I do see a shift. I hope it's not just a fad, and I hope it continues to go that way, because clearly we have stories to tell, and women make up 50% or more of people consuming products and watching films. So it's like, of course we want to see stories made by women, for women, featuring strong female characters, because they're so complex. So like, why wouldn't we tell those stories?
Absolutely, it's a necessity.
Yeah.
And Danny, what is your standpoint on being an actor in a female-directed film? How is Emily as a director?
She's a great director. I felt very safe, like as an actor, and kind of being like as vulnerable, like in this role as I was. It's hard to speak to Emily as like a female director or just a director, but all I can say is that she was just kind of I felt like, and I know Raimi, that actress who played Cleo in it, like we felt very safe, and we felt like very free to play around in the characters. Also, it's hard to split like Emily as a writer and a director. She created the script and like the environment, and directed as well. So it's kind of, I was in her world the whole time. So I don't know. I think she's great.
Would you have felt differently if it was a male, you think? Especially in those intimate moments that you were acting?
Maybe it's hard to say, but I definitely felt it's hard to say. I don't know how I would act or react if I was in the same movie with a male director. But she's female and completely capable and a good director.
And she's great.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of the takeaway. Proof is in the pudding.
Yeah. Thank you.
And tell us, Emily, what films have you done so far, in addition to Danny's Girl?
So I made a short film called Rupert in probably 2010. Very short film. I made another short film a few years later called Picnic Table, which I crowdfunded, and that was in about 2012. I made a comedy pilot last year with two girlfriends called I Adore Dolores, which was part of the IFP Lab, premiered at Series Fest, and won Most Outrageous at Orlando Film Festival. And right after that, I wanted to kind of, make my own film again. And so I self-financed Danny's Girl and just kind of made it happen. So I've done like a handful of shorts, but I feel like Danny's Girl is 100% absolutely like, I feel like I've taken what I've learned over the past like 10 years and made something that feels like me more so than I have in the past.
And what advice would you give to other female filmmakers that are starting out and are self-funding?
Trust your intuition. Don't settle. Don't feel intimidated to compromise too much. Like, of course, there's going to be compromise, and filmmaking is so collaborative. But if you get like a feeling in your gut that doesn't feel good, it's probably because you're not trusting your own instincts, and you might be letting somebody come in and bulldoze what you want. So listen to that feeling and try to do what makes you feel good and stay true to your instincts. Because I feel like as a woman, our tendency is to be a little more like people-pleasing, or the tendency to kind of doubt ourselves. So just try not to.
And what about you, Danny? What advice would you give to actors that are starting out?
I don't know that. That's a good question. I don't have much training as an actor. I just, it's something that I feel like comes naturally to me, and I just
Absolutely.
try to have fun, I guess. And it's a specific kind of, almost like a fun movie. I don't think I could give acting advice to someone who's playing, like a corporate lawyer in, a legal thriller. But I would say trust your instincts and hope that you get like a good director.
That's a great advice, and I'm so happy to have talked to you guys and seen the film. And what would you like to say to everyone who's watching at Cultured Focus Magazine?
What's up, Cultured Focus Magazine?
Hey, Cultured Focus Magazine! Woo!
Well, thank you so much. Great talking to you.
Thank you. You too.